Hi, welcome to Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer Swineford, founder of Limitless Impact Agency, and this is the podcast for service-based business owners who want to grow their business without losing the heart behind it. Every week, I'm bringing you real practical strategies on marketing, sales, and customer experience. No fluff, no hustle culture nonsense, just what works. So let's get into it. I want you to think about a question that might make you a little uncomfortable. Are you excited about the offer that you sell to your clients? Not, are you converting on the offer that you are making to your clients? Not, are your clients happy with the offer that you're making? Not, is it the most logical thing for you to do to keep making this offer? But are you genuinely excited about the services that you offer to your client? I know what the practical answer is. It's working, it's producing results for my clients. Why would I stop to even question something that I know is working? And I know this because that's what I thought too. Then a coach that I was working with asked me that question. Are you excited about your core offer? And I realized mid conversation, as I was trying to tell her how well it was converting and what it did for my clients, the real answer was no. My offer was selling, my clients were getting great results. Every logical signal said, keep going, don't change. But I wasn't excited about it. And once I admitted that and I let myself say it out loud, everything else flowed from there. So today I want to talk about what happens when your business is working, but something still doesn't feel quite right. I want to talk about the difference between growth that looks good on a spreadsheet and growth that's right for you, and about how just a few small adjustments, not a full reset, can bring you back to your alignment with what you're building. This is the episode I wish someone had given me earlier in my career. So let's go back to the conversation. I was working with a business coach, and things in my business were going really well by any reasonable measure. Revenue was solid, clients were happy, core offer was converting. But she asked me, and she didn't even build up to it or anything, just sort of out of the blue, are you excited about your core offer? And I started to answer the way I answered any other client's question. It's working really well. The results have been great. The clients are seeing good outcomes. She took a beat and then she asked me again, are you excited about it? And that's when I noticed what I was doing. I was answering a different question. I was talking about how the core offer looked on a spreadsheet, what it was producing, instead of how I felt about it. So I stopped and I gave it some thought. Was I excited? No, not really. I was proud of the results. I was happy that clients were benefiting, but the work itself had started feeling mundane, something I was able to deliver very competently, but I wasn't really pouring myself into. And I felt a little guilty feeling this way. And saying it out loud felt a little scary because the next logical question is, if it's working, why aren't you happy? Why would you change it? But here's what I've come to understand since I've been through this experience. What's working on paper and what's right for you aren't always the same thing. A business can be profitable and make you a little miserable at the same time. A service can convert well, but still drain you emotionally. And success by every external metric can coexist with the feeling that something isn't right. But most business owners push through that feeling because they don't make time for it. They're afraid of naming it. And they know deep down that if they do, it means something has to change. If it doesn't, and that's the part that nobody tells you. Because here's what happened after that conversation with my coach. We didn't throw the whole offer in the trash. We didn't rebuild all my services from scratch. We didn't pivot the entire business plan. We made some real small adjustments. We shifted the framing a little. We changed what was included and what wasn't. We adjusted who it was designed for, but not dramatically. And when all of those tiny changes came together, something shifted and I was excited again. This wasn't a performative excitement. I wasn't trying to talk myself into it. I was genuinely excited about the relatively new service that I was offering. And the results in my own business followed immediately. The sales that I thought were converting well with my old offer started converting even better. And it wasn't because the offer was dramatically different. It was because I was different when I was talking about them. The thing about genuine excitement is that everyone on the sales call can feel it. When you're really lit up about what you do, when you talk about your offer and every word is exciting, that energy transfers. People get excited because you're excited. They lean in because you're leaning in. And the opposite is true as well. When you're just going through the motions, when you're delivering something competently, but not passionately, people feel that too. They might not be able to name it, but something feels off and they hesitate. Sales is contagious, both increasing sales and decreasing sales. What I learned in that season in my business was that the offer matters, but the person delivering the offer matters even more. When those two things are aligned, when you're genuinely excited about what you're putting out into the world, everything in your business gets easier. So I think about that coach's question a lot, not just for myself, but the clients that I'm working with. Because here's what I've noticed. Hardly anybody's asking it. Business owners are asking, is it working? Is it converting? Is it scalable? What does the spreadsheet say? And those are important questions. I will never say that you should ignore the data. I am big data person. But they're not the only questions that matter. And for a lot of service business owners, the questions from the spreadsheet are the only ones being asked. So that feeling that's quietly draining them, the offer that they deliver on autopilot, the niche they backed into rather than chose for themselves, the version of their business that they built because it made sense rather than because it excited them, it never really gets talked about or thought about or looked into at all until something breaks. Maybe burnout shows up. They start dreading Monday instead of loving the business that they built. And I don't want that for you. So let me ask you the question my coach asked me. Are you excited about your core offer? Give yourself a minute to really sit with that. Here's the second question. Is the version of your business that you're building now the one that you really want? Not the one that made sense, not the one that the market rewarded, the one that you were built to run? Those are two completely different questions, and they lead to completely different businesses. So let's spend a few minutes talking about what it looks like to redefine growth in your own terms, because it can sound a little bit more abstract than it really is. First, we have to start with an honest inventory. Look at the services that you offer and your clients. Then look at how you're spending your day, not through the lens of revenue and results, but through the lens of energy and feeling. What parts of what you do energize you and what parts drain you? Where in your business do you feel most like your authentic self? And where do you feel like you're performing to be a version of yourself? Which clients bring out your absolute best and which ones make you dread picking up the phone? Take a minute, replay this section, write all your thoughts down. Don't edit it. Just let the honest answers land on the page. Then look at what you've written and ask, is my business set up to do more of what I think should be done or more of what feels good? For a lot of people, their business is built the way they thought it should be built. Not because they made bad decisions or they had responses that they put ahead of pursuit of what they wanted. It just happens sometimes. But the good news is that most of the time, you can get back into alignment without burning everything down. You can make some relatively small intentional changes. A slightly different framing on an existing offer, a clearer stance on who you want to serve, or maybe it's just a conversation you've been avoiding about what you want your business to look like in 3 years. Small changes can turn into real alignment. And once you have alignment and you're genuinely excited about your work again, everything else tends to get easier. More sales come in, you start working with better clients. It feels like less of a grind. Not because the market changed, but you did. So I want to give you something powerful before I end the episode today. I want to give you permission to desire a business that excites you, not just one that brings in profits. Permission to redefine what growth means for you, even if it looks different from what everyone in your industry says it should look like. I want to give you permission to make adjustments on something that's working if working just doesn't feel right. Because there's a version of success the business world is selling: more revenue, more clients, more scaling, more, more, more. And then there's a version of your business that you were called to. And sometimes they're the same, but not always. And it's okay if they're not. Because the business that you were built to run isn't the one that looks perfect on paper. It's the one where the gifts you were given, the work you're doing, the values you've built over the years are all pointing in the same direction. That business, when you can find it and build towards it, tends to be more profitable than any other business you could have built. And that's a really nice byproduct, but it's not the whole point. The point of building the business that you were meant to build is because you got into business for yourself to build something that mattered to you, something that reflected who you are, something that felt worth showing up as your full self for. And I don't want you to lose that feeling in all the metrics that show up on the spreadsheets. I believe that we were all sent on a very specific path that brought us right to this exact moment. All of the experiences you have, the skills that you've built, the clients you've served, none of it is random. And there's a version of your business that reflects everything you've gone through, that uses what you're genuinely good at in service of people you were specifically built to serve. When you create a business aligned with that, doesn't feel like hustle. It feels like purpose. Now, this isn't to say that once you build this business, every day is going to be easy. But the hard days feel different when the work itself feels right. So keep asking yourself the questions. Are you excited about this? Is this the business you were built to run? And if the answer isn't 100% yes, don't panic. You don't have to burn it all down. Just start making tiny tweaks that bring you back into alignment with who you are. You'll know when you get there because you feel it inside. And if you find yourself sitting with this and wondering whether the business you built is the one you really want, I'd love to be a sounding board for you. These are the kind of conversations I live for. You can schedule a free strategy session using the link in the show notes or by visiting limitlessimpactagency.com. And if this episode triggered something for you, please share it with a person in your world who needs to hear it too. Because I'm pretty sure someone you know is building a business that's successful and still doesn't feel quite right. And this might be exactly what they need to hear today. If something landed for you today, I would be so appreciative if you'd share this episode with one person in your world who needs to hear it, because that's how this show will grow. And I am so grateful for every single share that is made. If you're ready to take what you learned today and put it into work to grow your business, I would absolutely love to talk to you. You can use the link in the show notes or visit limitlessimpactagency.com to schedule your free strategy session. We'll figure out exactly where you need to focus first. But until next week, go do something amazing.